Hi, Crafty Friends, it's Katya. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I can't wait to share some new ideas and card making creations just for you and hope that we can collaborate. So many of you who have already been participating on this Save the Crafty YouTuber Hop already know what to do. But for those of you who don't, who are just now joining in, go ahead and hit that information button down below, and all of the information plus the next person on the hop will be listed with instructions on how to participate. So all those details will be in the description box below. So lately I've been obsessed with layered dies. I own a few small ones, but I wanted to create a layered die that fits on an A2 size card front. So using Canvas Workspace, which is an online software that you can use to create designs and cut digital die cuts with them with your die cutting machine, I designed what you see here on the screen. So my husband gifted me a new scan and cut for Christmas, and I've been having so much fun creating layer designs. And so what you see on the screen is one of the ones I created. Now, I'm not going to lie, the layer designs that I created took some time to edit and tweak so that I could develop a system to get them all to line up correctly and fit nicely on an A2 size card. This layer design is just one of a few that I've made, so if you are interested in seeing more of these layered designs I've created, let me know in the comments section below and I will upload more videos showing how I use them on card fronts. Incidentally, the large round brush that I'm using to blend is actually intended for applying liquid makeup. So when I was at a USA discount store called TJ Maxx a couple of months ago, I instantly thought I could use it to blend ink. So I picked it up and I am using it here for the first time and I really love it. And as you can see, it blends beautifully and with very little effort. So the bristles on this brush are very dense and compact and super soft, so it blends beautifully. And I'm speeding up the ink blending here because I don't want to bore anyone, but my goal is to apply the most intense and darker shade of ink at the bottom layer and then gradually work my way to the lightest layer on the top. So every so often you'll see that I stack up the die cuts to see if I like the intensity of the ink shades. And as you'll see in just a bit, I switch to a more intense ink color to deepen the bottom layer. So now I'm using Salty Ocean Distress Oxide ink for the bottom layer, and I really liked the look of the two inks blended together, so I continued using it on each layer. I was I was being especially careful not to use such a heavy application of ink, nor a heavy hand when applying it to the middle and top layers because I wanted the intensity to be much less vibrant. So when I was finally happy with the ink blending, I stacked each layer to see how it looked, and I liked the variation of the colors on each layer. So right in the center of the layered die, I thought it would be fun to put a heart in the middle to really draw your eye to the center of the card. I used a Sizzix heart die from my stash. And now those of you who have seen my recent hack video, you know that I love stacking and adhering two pieces of lighter weight cardstock, so 65-pound cardstock before I die cut. It makes the smaller and the more intricate dies far easier to handle. And it also reduces the amount of layers that you have to apply since you're die cutting two pieces at the same time. Now, because I've just increased the thickness of the cardstock by 2, I always try to run it through my die cutting machine at least twice to get a really clean cut. I have not tried this technique using 110-pound cardstock doubled up because I don't think or know if a smaller die cutting machine like the one I'm using here can take the pressure of that thickness. So keep that in mind if you try this. But this works beautifully for your thinner 65-pound weight cardstocks or even those 6x6 paper pads that most of us crafters have. So next I moved on to adhering all my layers together using my current and favorite adhesive by Tonic Studios called Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. What I love about this glue is that the bottle has a really nice curve, so it's very comfortable to handle and it's not too big. And it's also a super strong adhesive and it has a very fine tipped nozzle, which makes getting into those very thin areas pretty easy. And last, the jewel on the top of the bottle caps of their entire line just adds that much more bling to our craft room. So what is not to love, right? So as I layer these die cuts on top of each other, I also wanted to show you an alternate way to adhere die cuts that are intricate because using liquid adhesive can sometimes be messy and not everybody loves that. So here I am. I'm going to be using a tape runner and placing my die cut upside down on a piece of leftover release paper. And this is pretty easy. So you can just run your tape adhesive and it doesn't stick to those other areas. But if you strategically move your release paper around, you can get all pieces of the die cut and get an even amount of adhesive on all parts of it. And it just makes it that much easier. And it's a little bit cleaner in case you are not super fond of using liquid glue and making a mess. So all three layers of my die cut design are stacked and I'm very happy with the results. And I'll show you a close-up of the card front in just a bit. But I also have my stacked heart die cut and I decided to pop it up on some foam tape to add more dimension. And before I forget, I wanted to mention that somewhere in the abyss of my horribly messy craft room, I misplaced my reverse locking tweezers, so I went in search of another set on Amazon. So while browsing, I came across these Kaisi cross-locking tweezers that are often used for like electronics, jewelry, crafting, etc. So I thought, well, for $12 or around the $12 price point, I decided to pick up a six-pack set and have been using them ever since, and they're really awesome. They're long and have a very sharp tip, and they're great for embossing. And I'm also using this new to me glitter pen from scrapbook.com. And I have to tell you, I'm now obsessed with this particular product. So assuming it works like the other clear glitter brush markers on the market, I removed the yellow rings, screwed the base back on, and shook it to loosen the glitter particles in the chamber. Now I have to admit that it's truly not the best idea to show you the amazing amount of sparkle that comes from this glitter brush marker using a white piece of cardstock, but it is what I had on hand, so it was a piece of scrap. So this is the sample I'm going to show you, but you'll be able to really see it shimmer and glimmer in on the red cardstock. So you'll see here too that I barely have to brush the glitter brush marker on the heart, and it truly displays this gorgeous, amazing glittery shimmer. It's so pretty in person, but as usual, it's very hard to kind of show that on camera. But here it is a little bit closer, and if I tilt it just right there, you can see all that shimmery goodness. It's so pretty in person. So here is a close-up of the final card. Now off camera, using my Nuvo glue, I adhered some Studio Katia heart gems in the white openings of the card base layer. And then I also attached a word banner that I typed up and printed with my word processing program that says "Sending Hugs and Love." I printed it on heavyweight cardstock paper and then I doubled it up and trimmed it to fit. So that is it for me, my friends. If you've stuck with me to the end of this video, thank you. And if you like this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing if you want to see more. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Justine for organizing this hop. It was so much fun participating. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now.